Hip-hop hates Lucasraps. And why shouldn't they? What has Lucasraps contributed to the culture? Let's set the scene again. The year is 2016. A young Luke Malone is brought up on stage by a nationally recognized artist, Nasty C, on one of the biggest stages in KZN in South Africa, East Coast Radio's Durban Day. Think about this moment. As a 15-year-old kid in high school having to rap in front of your idol from your hometown, how prepared are you? What will you say? What will you do?
Sometimes I wanna go away, but mine says one way. So why can't this place be so happy? Why can't everybody come in this thing like that, B? Cause I got the flow and you know this be nasty. So that's it, Durban Day, this is what it be. Lucas, thank you, Nasty.
Lucasraps goes on to spit a freestyle off of the dome incorporating Nasty C, the crowd, and Durban Day. Smashed it. What were you doing at 15? A few months later, Lucas is sitting in class and he's telling everyone about the time that he was in Joburg and how he met people that his peers would only ever see on TV and on stage. While he was speaking, what's that? He was hungry. Because he didn't eat during break time. He thought, well, what's the harm? Took out a sandwich, took a bite. Here's the problem though. This was his computers class. There was a big sign in front of the class which stated no eating or drinking. For obvious reasons. So his teacher catches him and like his sandwich starts chewing him out. See, this wasn't Lucas's first time being called out for eating in the class. He gets kicked out of class and is sent to the principal's office. He gets to the principal's office and explains that he wants to be a rapper and he's dropping out. He walks back into class and gives everyone a marker to perform the traditional farewell t-shirt signage on his school shirt, usually reserved for matriculants on the last day of high school. Now, I don't want to rehash Lucasraps' story too much. Probably the most viewed video on my channel gives a breakdown of his come up, which you should definitely go check out. But I want to pick up Lucas's story just after discovering Blxckie. Now, I'm not gonna act like my video didn't cause a rift between Lucas and Blxckie. Like, my view was just speculation, and I think it made the situation real. Well, how do I know this? Blxckie dropped his long-awaited debut album Before Now. Lucas was nowhere to be found on it, except on the initial cut for Big Time Slapper, which put Blxckie on. Which seems like a bit of a dick move if you consider that Blxckie was put on by Lucas. Hey, I don't know the story there. A few weeks later though, it would be reported that Lucasraps bought a 14 million rand house in the northern suburbs of Johannesburg. This is where I believe the unfortunate troubles started for Lucas. As much as we hate it, the public, especially rap artists, are the biggest pocket watchers. It's just human nature. Lucas's mistake here was posting the Property 24 ad of the property which showed the 14 million rand figure. After Mzansi A-listers would contact the realtors handling the property, the bombshell would be that the house was actually still for sale and had not been purchased.
Oh, so the house is still available?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, I mean, you'd call me back immediately, right?
At all. His manager would confirm that Lucas was actually renting the place for 60,000 rand monthly. He would later post a video claiming that he moved out because his dog was killed in an accident on the property or something. Bruh. Come on now. Anyway, a few months later, Lucas would announce that he signed with Def Jam Africa and that he was gearing up to drop his debut album after having dropped Dear Boy a few months earlier. Now, Dear Boy was still Lucas's biggest solo song, and that song was marred in its own controversy because Dear Boy,
easy there boy, don't get greedy here boy,
sounded a lot like Baby Keem's
easy there boy, should get greedy there boy.
Oh, by the way, I know I'm digressing here, but you notice that Kendrick used the verses from here on N95, right? Just an observation from the Gussie Batman. Anyway, I've always had an issue with artists copying blatantly from overseas artists, but it was more expected in 2004 and 5 because a lot of the times it would go unnoticed. With the internet age, it's even worse. So now I really hate when rappers blatantly steal from US rappers. Let's quickly define homage versus stealing. An homage is when a line, a reference, or a piece of music is used from another song to bring up a sense of nostalgia. Stealing, on the other hand, is when you use that reference to define your song without changing it enough to call it an homage. Yes, it is based mostly on opinion, but here's an example of an homage.
We doing big pimpin', we spending cheap. Check them out now. Big pimpin' on BLADs, we doing.
And
Big pimpin', smoking weed. We be big pimpin' and ATV, and we be.
but the next one I'm going to show you, this one is stealing.
I just came home with nothing. Now I'm up all of a sudden. Hey, now I'm up all of a sudden. Hey, now I'm up all of a sudden. Hey, I just came home with something. Cause I'm up all son. Showing love all son.
In the wider sense of things though, I don't think the general public gave a shit because it still wasn't enough to build excitement for his upcoming album 031 to the world, because the single wasn't used as a backdrop for the album, and by the time the album dropped with the official single Slide, it wasn't as well received as intended. What's worse is that his protege Blxckie was nowhere to be found on the album. Angazi bafethu, bathi I was speculating, ne? So none of his other music really had an impact after that. That leads me to what gave me the idea to make the video today. Lucas released his 031 to the world deluxe version. Even though he's one of the big figures in SA hip hop, it failed to reach the top 100 streamed albums of that week. So today we're gonna find out how you're gonna avoid this situation. How do you avoid being a big star online and on TV, but then it doesn't translate to your music numbers? Sweetie, Lil Xan. The best time to drop a project of a succession of singles is while your hottest single is still crazy online and on the charts. Done. Now, I'm gonna ask you a question. The question is gonna seem dumb at first, but I promise you, you'll be surprised at how many people answer this differently. What is a musician's job? Now, you would think the answer to this question would be easy, but look at the different answers that I got. Now, you wanna know what the answer to this question is? It's pretty simple. To make music. Finish and claro. All the other answers help you become a popular musician. However, the basic answer is just to make music. You wouldn't believe how many artists DM me and message me to be their manager or to put them on the channel. But then when I ask for their music, they send me 2 or 3 songs that they're getting ready to release in the next few months. Or they use the famous line, "I'm cooking up some dope shit that's in the vault. Boy!" Nigga, if you don't get your sorry lazy ass out of my DMs. Now, Lucas was stuck in the very same trap for a while. After missing a period after the big Dr. Pepper feature, What It Is, Lucasraps took a long break from releasing any notable music online. In fact, up until Blxckie's Big Time Slapper was widely released in November 2020, Lucas hadn't had a single since What It Is, which was October of the previous year. A lot can happen in 13 months. Lucas's time to drop a project was right after What It Is. If he wasn't willing to drop a project, then he needed to at least keep the chatter running by dropping more singles. So to all musicians out there, you need to keep dropping music. I don't know how much more to stress this. Keep the chatter running. Keep posting more music. Blxckie had over 200 songs and features in a span of 2 years before the release of Big Time Slapper. Just cause he made it didn't mean he stopped dropping. Just go through his SoundCloud. Before Now wasn't the end of the deal during that time. And it's not like he was making just hits either. Songs like Gas and Steppin' really didn't do much in the mainstream. Shit, even now, Together and Investigate aren't that big. But if he didn't drop them and had them do little numbers, do you think he would have actually put out Kwenzekele? My point exactly. Now, the last point that I want to get to is pretty simple but very important. Controversy is not worth it if it does not point to your music. Casper Nyovest, the guy that we love to hate. Apparently, he stole his lyrics and music for Dog Shebeleza while beefing with AKA. What is a normal person going to do? Go and download the song. A month later, he drops a big song naming AKA directly. Boom! People now want to listen to that song. In another instance, he announces he's dropping Tuto and he makes a music video where the 10 rand notes look too green, thus fake. What do you go do? Go and stream the video. A month later, he announces fill up FNB Stadium. It's all calculated. Now, I made a whole video about using controversy to your advantage. To summarize the whole video, basically you gotta use your controversy that forces people to listen to your music in order to get the controversy. Lucasraps had a 14 million rand house controversy, but that was just controversy for the sake of controversy. It had nothing to do with the music. He did have the controversial Dear Boy, which was a controversial single, and at least the controversy gave it a thrust. The problem is he didn't use it to promote the upcoming project. I really think this is an important topic to cover. Controversy and gimmicks is really good at promoting your music. In fact, many artists have thrived off of controversy and have had long-standing careers because of it. You have to learn how to do so, and I implore you to click on the video that is on the screen right now if you want to take your career to the next level using controversy.